Morning driver, this is the 9:05 departure to London Euston. Board passengers here first. So press T to open the doors. Insert the master key by pressing Shift W. Reverse to neutral.
TPWS and AWS operational.
Reset the AWS, go over to the TMS to acknowledge the configuration. So press Ctrl 1 to acknowledge. And that's. Go outside for the headlights. So on them to the day position and set the destination to London Euston. So Aston, Barnt Green, Birmingham International, Birmingham New Street, Blake Street, Bletchley, Bromsgrove, Coventry, Crewe, London Euston. So this is pretty much a continuation of the last video from Bletchley to Northampton, except this is on a different day with a different train. So we have 350 108 on the front in the LNWR livery, and we have an X London Midland 350, 368. So we are following along train to November 50, the 905 Northampton to London Euston service, calling at Northampton, Wolverton, Milton Keynes Central, Bletchley, Leighton, Buzzard, Tring, Berkhamsted, Hemel Hempstead, Apsley, Langley, Watford Junction, and London Euston. So I take it the next station is Wolverton, in about 13 miles. So departing Northampton, the speed limit is 20 miles an hour, and we'll be crossing onto the up Northampton. Then we're crossing onto the down line, and then we need to cross over to the up line. So accelerate the train up to 20 miles an hour. And then put it to idle. So when we cross over onto the up main, the speed limit is going down to 20 miles an hour. So we are due into London Euston at 10:23. Yeah, I don't know why it got in 5 minutes late. Why would you put a signal right on the end of a junction? That's a stupid place to put it. Why can't you just put it a bit further back or forward? So crossing over here is 15 miles an hour, and I forgot to brake for it. Speed limit is now 75 miles an hour, and to cross over onto the up main. Right, who decided to put these signals in this place? Of those places. So accelerate gently up to 75. Like that. So speed limit now is 75 miles an hour. So we should be passing through a tunnel, and then after that we should be joining up with the main West Coast main line at Road. So this is pretty much a stopping train, except we don't call at stations between Watford and London. I don't know how many videos this will be. It would either be one longer video or like 3 short ones, depending on how long it takes me to get into London. Because I'll only be recording the bits when I'm actually moving and not stationary. I won't go through a tunnel with this one. So the train is now coasting at 75 miles an hour, and speed limit is shortly going up to 90 miles an hour. So yeah, when I was doing a test drive, I found that I was arriving into stations very early. So I'll just cut out the bits where I just sat in the station doing nothing. And I think that would dramatically decrease the total video length. So I might be able to squeeze it all into one part, if the part is not too long. Speed limit is now 90 miles an hour. Oh yeah, there will be a lot of lag spikes. So accelerate the train up to 90. Yeah, this speedometer is very blurry and pixelaty. So the LNWR livery, I mean, I'm not sure if I like it. I mean, I have seen this livery in real life around Manchester, when Transpennine still had, well, Transpennine was still holding on to the 354s. And we have a London Midland liveried 350 with LNWR branding. I mean, if I had to choose between the LNWR and the London Midland livery, I like the London Midland livery better. I mean, I like this one better. This one. Maybe it's because it's been around for a lot longer. So we should shortly be coming up on road where we join with the main fast course main line from Rugby. I think we will end up reaching 100 miles an hour because some stations are like really spread out. Until you get closer to London, then they come more bunched up. So I think this is road, passing at 9:10, 9:11. So we're roughly on time. The actual train passed at 9:11, so we're on time with the actual train. So that's something. Oh yeah, we should also have some things overtake us. And I think on my test run, I did like run parallel with Pendolino. I was doing about 100, and Pendolino was doing 100 for some reason, instead of 125. It was really cool to like try and catch up to it, until I had to brake for a station. So next is Hounslow Junction, where trains from the Northampton line can go onto the fast lines, and trains from Rugby can go onto the slow lines. And I think there's also a neutral section there as well. Yeah, there is. So put the power to neutral, or off, and then just course through the neutral section. You know when you're in the neutral section when there's a little white light on the bottom right goes off. Speed limit is now going up to 100 miles an hour. We can accelerate to that now. There's a neutral section. I will pass through it. So accelerate up to 100. And don't overshoot Wolverton, where the works are. Oh yeah, when I was looking at real-time trains yesterday, I saw that there was like an empty train between Wolverton and Newton Heath. I wonder what it could be. Probably a refurbished northern unit, like a 158 or 156. I wish these trains had speed set. Another lag spike. So on the journey we should be seeing just 350s and Pendolinos. Yeah, when I was looking at real-time trains there wasn't any freight running. So we won't be seeing any freight, apart from Wembley and Wilston. So just Pendolinos and 350s. This is Hounslow Junction. So passenger view. I don't know why AP couldn't have just updated this, because I'm pretty sure LNWR 350 seats aren't red. Come on. I wonder why he couldn't have put like scrolling text up here. Like, this is an LNWR train to somewhere. Speed limit is going down to 90. So one thing you could have done with scrolling text is like have the destination as like an enum or an enumerated value, where you can scroll through each. They could like loop through each item in the enumerated value. And then with the destination, you could have it as a string, and then concatenate the destination with the string to put it on the destination board. And this is Castlethorpe Station, which closed in 1964. But I don't know how the destination works. I mean, the Trent Valley 350 has scrolling text on the passenger view. That was cool. And it also had announcements. So let's accelerate the train back up to 100. The train from London to Northampton Electric EMU Depot. EM Depot. No, Electric Motive Depot. Which is just beyond Northampton Station. So Wolverton is in about a mile. The thing about Wolverton and Berkhamsted is that you can see Pedalinos come through the station at 125 miles an hour, while on like maximum tilt. Stupid lag. Come on, get better to FPS. I mean, I don't know why it lags so much, because the route builder didn't really port a lot of stuff in the world, so I don't know what lag spikes are about. So Wolverton is literally just around this corner. Yeah, I better put my brake on. This is Wolverton Station. So I'm aiming to stop at the 8-car stop sign. Yeah, these platforms are really long, probably because I have to accommodate 12 coaches. So here is the 8-car stop marker on the left. So arrival into Wolverton. The next stop is Milton Keynes Central at 9:22. So departing Wolverton, the speed limit is 70 miles an hour, and we have about 2.5 miles to Milton Keynes, and the Pedalino just passed on the right. Yeah, 350s do have really good acceleration. Probably because they were designed for like topping trains. So speed limit is now going back up to 90 miles an hour. There's also another neutral section coming up. So yeah, I'm driving the Armstrong Powerhouse Class 350 enhancement, which requires the Dovetail Portsmouth to Waterloo to Portsmouth line. I haven't driven all that line yet, I've been meaning to, but scenarios on that line would take days to make. Especially trying to put trains around Waterloo. So accelerate train up to 90 and then coast to Milton Keynes. So the thing about Wolverton, Milton Keynes and Bletchley is that they are really close to each other. So it shouldn't be too long until Milton Keynes. Hopefully the train won't divide itself like the Pelino did. Is there a neutral section coming up? Already passed through it. So Milton Keynes we are doing platform 1 between 9:21 and 9:22. And at Milton Keynes we would have travelled 16 miles. Yeah, I have real-time trains open on my laptop with the times on it. That's not breaking from Milton Keynes. If not, I'm a bit late. Another lag spike. Why are these so frequent? 350 from London to Crewe. So Milton Keynes are aiming to stop at the 8-car stop sign. So coming in at 30 seems about right. Welcome to Milton Keynes Central on the top left. So this is Milton Keynes Central. So there's the 4-car, there's the 8-car. And I've completely gone past it again. So our arrival into Milton Keynes. Next stop is Bletchley at 9:27. So it's back to Milton Keynes Central. The speed limit is 85 miles an hour and we have about 3 miles to Bletchley. So we've got a green aspect on the up slow, as we're stopping at literally 90% of the stations. So Milton Keynes has 7 platforms numbered 1 to 6. So platform 1 is on the up slow for trains to London Euston. Platform 2, I think that's like a blue pipe platform where trains can terminate. Platform 2A is a bay platform, it's facing south. Platform 3 is on the down slow. Platform 4 is, I think that's like a through platform on the up fast. Platform 5 is for stopping Avanti trains. Platform 6 is for trains heading north. I've been through Milton Keynes, but I haven't been to Milton Keynes. I think one time in 2015, I was on the train between Manchester and London, and I think it was Nuneaton. I think one of the passengers was ill, so the train had to stop. The train had to stop in Milton Keynes to let the sick person off, and then we got to London about, I think it was 15 minutes late. I don't remember taking like a lone sleeper in London. I think I might have already left. This is Denbigh Hall, I think. No, it's spelled Denbigh. However you pronounce it. It's so warm in here. So Bletchley platform 4. So Bletchley has 6 platforms. 1 and 2 on the fast lines, 3 and 4 on the slow lines, and 5 and 6 are for the Marston Vale line towards Bedford. Come on, lag spike. And on the left is Bletchley carriage sidings, whether it's a through a 9, ready to leave. Then empty train to Northampton Electromotive Depot. Yeah, I wasn't sure what that was. Real-time train said it was a 321, which would be impossible. So I just put in a 309 just to add some extra variance. So in Bletchley, I just put in a few 350s. If I could not have a lag spike. So Bletchley is just in the distance. So Bletchley is famous for Bletchley Park, where Alan Turing developed the first mechanical computer to decipher the ciphers during World War II. So at Bletchley, I'm aiming to stop at the 8 car stop sign. So that's the 4 car stop sign. And then shortly should be the one for 8. So 8 is at the end with the 12 car stop sign as well. So arrival into Bletchley. Next stop is Leighton Buzzard at 9:34. So reverse to forward, brake off, and power to notch 2. So to pass in Bletchley, the speed limit is 75 miles an hour, and we have about 6.5 miles to Leighton Buzzard. So going over the top is I think it's like a viaduct cord that connects somewhere with somewhere else. Yeah, it is very pointless. I don't know what BR were thinking when deciding to build it. Even though there are plans to, I think it's a new service between Cambridge and Oxford that will go through Bletchley, and I think Network Rail are building new platforms on the viaduct. That would be cool. Wonder who will operate it. I think LNWR would operate the service. I'm saying though, it goes from Cambridge to Oxford. Who would run the service? So accelerate the train up to 100, and then brake for Leighton Buzzard about, I'd say about 1.5 miles, maybe a mile. Why is this route so laggy? There's not much load. I mean, look at this. There's practically nothing here. Yeah, I really do like what AP did with the 350. Even if it is just a 450 with a pantograph. So we have 350 one away on the front and 350 368 on the rear. So this train is formed of 8 coaches. Yeah, I don't know the actual formation of this in real life. It could have been 4, 8, or 12. So I just went with 8. Even though it would be more cool if it was 12. But whatever, it's right now. Coming up to 100 miles an hour. I think I'll just put the power back to notch 2 just so we can maintain 100. So I'll just keep the power at about 40% and hopefully that should keep us at a steady 100 miles an hour. So Leighton Buzzard in about 3 miles, so speed limit is going down to 90 as we just curve towards London. So I have been looking on return trains, and it seems that service is starting to resume back to normal. So instead of having just a normal 2 trains between London and Northampton, there's now more trains. So you can go from London to Birmingham, you can go London to Crewe, you can go... I think there's more trains through Birmingham, like London to Glasgow via Birmingham. Yeah, there's London to Preston, London to Birmingham New Street, Pendle. Yeah, there's definitely more trains now compared to a few weeks ago. Probably because Boris said go back to work, even though I said don't go to work. Yeah, everybody's confused. Yeah, Boris also said that you can meet up to 6 people from Monday, and today is Friday. So on Monday you can go and meet 6 people, but still stand 2 meters apart. Like, why did he pick 6? Why 6? Yeah, if you go to the BBC and look at one of Boris Johnson's speeches, you see in the comments that we are all expecting a second peak in like September or something like that. Stop braking for Leighton Buzzard, which is literally just around the corner. So Leighton Buzzard is just up in the distance. So I think some LNWR trains stop at Leighton Buzzard and then they go fast all the way into London. But we're not doing that. We're stopping at a lot more stations. So after Watford we should go straight into London, so we won't be stopping at Hemel or Euston. So we're aiming to stop at the 8-car stop sign. So there's 4 on the left, and here is 8 on the gantry. And I'm completely shot past it again. So arrival at Leighton Buzzard. Next stop is Tring at 9:43. So departing Leighton Buzzard, the speed limit is 90 miles an hour, and we have about 8.5 miles to Tring. Also, the limit is going back up to 100, just down there. So speed limit is now 100 miles an hour. So Tring platform 5 between 9:42 and 9:43. Tring, Berkhamsted, Hemel Hempstead, Bletchley, Langley, Watford Junction, and London Euston. There's a Pendo heading north. So this scenario did take a really long time to make, because you have all the 350s, you have the Pendolinos, you have the London Overground, you have Southern, you have freight that didn't run. So I wonder what my scenarios will look like when the full timetable is reintroduced. Probably very busy. Neutral section. And accelerate back up to 100 miles an hour. So shortly we should be overtaken by a Pendolino. It's either from Manchester or it's from Liverpool. I don't remember which one. Probably both. Well, I think I put in 3 trains to overtake us between here and London. No, 4. There's one from Liverpool, one from Manchester, another one from Manchester, one from Birmingham, part. Stops in Leighton Buzzard and then just goes straight to London. And I think that's it. So next station will be Chillington, which we will pass through. Yeah, Chillington is a bit of a strange station because it looks like it's in the middle of nowhere. This is Watford Junction. So Chillington is just up in the distance. That was a cool thing to do. So that was Chillington, station code Charlie Echo Delta. Next is Tring North Junction, just before getting into Tring. So speed limit is going down to 90. Yeah, I think the speed fluctuates between 190 on the slow lines. On the fast lines, the speed limit the speed limit is constantly 125. So bring the train down to 90 miles an hour. And we have about 3 miles to Tring. So the date of recording is the 29th of May, and the video should be going out on the 29th of May, so I have today to record, edit and upload this. Hopefully the editing part doesn't take too long. So Tring should be right around this embankment. A pendle from London to Manchester. Another lag spike. Why do I keep getting these? There's not a lot to load. So Tring is just coming up very shortly. So Tring is right around the corner. So Tring, I'm aiming to stop at the 8 car stop sign. So this is Tring. So with some peak trains to terminate here from London. No, not now, because we don't have the full timetable. So 4 cars on the left, and 8 should be around here somewhere. And the 8 car stop sign is on this gantry. So arrival into Tring. Next stop is Berkhamsted at 9:48. So departing Tring, the speed limit is now 100 miles an hour, and we have about 3.5 miles to Berkhamsted, where you can see Pendolinos just come round the corner at 125 miles an hour on like maximum tilt. Really cool. Even though I haven't been to Berkhamsted, I've been through Berkhamsted on the pendle between Manchester and London. Yeah, I think the journey time between Manchester and London is, I think it's 2 hours and 10 minutes, depending where it stops. Well, if you're going from Manchester to London, you stop at Manchester Piccadilly, Stockport, Crewe, then London. Or it could be Manchester Piccadilly, Stockport, Macclesfield, Stoke-on-Trent, then Milton Keynes, then London, maybe. Or it could stop in more places. So this part of the West Coast Main Line is very bendy. I'm not saying that all of the West Coast Main Line is very bendy. All of it is curvy. There's a Pendo heading north to Birmingham on 9 Golf 11. Well, what is G? Is it golf or gnome? I think it's golf. So stop braking for Berkhamsted. Just need to power through this lag. I don't know why it happens so much. Speed limit is now 85 miles an hour, and Berkhamsted is just up ahead now. Might be coming in a little too fast. Good thing the 350s have good braking. And just gone right past the 8 and 4 car stop sign, just like I did before. So this is Berkhamsted. Next stop is Hemel Hempstead at 9:52. So to pass in Berkhamsted, the speed limit is 85 miles an hour, and we have about 3.5 miles to Hemel Hempstead. So Hemel Hempstead, Bletchley, Langley, Watford Junction, and London Euston. I swear there should be a Pendolino overtaking us fairly soon. So speed limit is now 100 miles an hour, so we can accelerate towards that. Yeah, I really do like this cab. It's a lot better than the old Portsmouth Red Line, with a lot more detail. And this screen looks a lot like a vertical iPad. There's a Pendle from Liverpool to London with 1 Romeo 27. Hopefully in a bit we should be able to catch up to him, because the AI trains seem to not travel at 125 for some reason. They want to travel at 100. Don't know why. 350? to Northampton with 2 November 59. Yeah, it's a race between a 350 and a Pendo. I'm pretty sure this isn't the first time this has happened. And I think we've already caught up to it. Yeah, that's also happened in my test run. Yeah, I kind of lost because I had to stop for Hemel Hempstead. This is Bourne Junction. So put the power to off so we can coast at 100 miles an hour. So Hemel Hempstead is in less than a mile. So I'll start braking for it now. Yeah, and that Penalino will be in London way sooner than we will. Why does that Penalino look like it has red on it? So this is Hemel Hempstead. So aiming to stop at the 8-car stop sign. Four-car stop sign on the left. And here is 8 on the gantry. So arrival at Hemel Hempstead. Next stop is Apsley at 9:56. So departing Hemel Hempstead, the speed limit is 100 miles an hour, and we have about 1.4 miles to Apsley. So these stations are fairly close together. I wonder if there's anything in these sidings. They look kind of disused, so I guess not. So accelerate the train up to 100, or near 100, and then start braking for Apsley. Then after Apsley is King's Langley, then Watford Junction, and then London Euston. So I'll start braking for Apsley. So hopefully we should be overtaken by another train. And hopefully we won't be stuck outside London Euston for hours on end. This is Apsley Station. So speed limit is now 90. So I'm aiming to stop at the 8-car stop sign. So that's 4. And here's 8. Just on the left on this gantry. Yeah, think about these stations that they kind of all look the same. Next up is King's Langley at 9:59. So departing Apsley, the speed limit is 90 miles an hour, and we have 2 miles to King's Langley. So I'm enjoying this run so far. It's very relaxing with the stop-start nature. Maybe it might do another video going in the opposite direction, like a stopping train from London to Birmingham through Northampton. That'll be fun. Another Pendolino from Manchester to Euston with 1 Romeo 28. I think we're starting to catch up to the Pendolino up ahead. Cancel. Oh, 75. So I'll start braking for King's Langley. So we should be overtaken by another 350 from Birmingham and another Pendolino from Manchester. Yeah, I think Avante is starting to reintroduce the three trains per hour between Manchester and London. So this is King's Langley. I think there's also a passing loop up ahead. So that here is a 4-car stop sign, and I think 8 should be at the end. Oh, it's here. So arrival into King's Langley. The next stop is Watford Junction at 10:04. So departing King's Langley, the speed limit is 75, going up to 90. Next stop is Watford Junction in about 3.5 miles. Remember, we get out the tunnel. Watford Junction is immediately after it. So don't do what I did in a live stream and go straight past Watford. So in real life I have been to Watford because my family took a trip down to London, parked in Watford, and then got 350s into London Euston, and then did all the normal touristy stuff. So it was nice getting the train from Watford to London Euston. So after Watford, we will be fast into London Euston. So we won't stop at Harrow and Wilston, and we won't stop at Wembley Central. So Watford Junction, platform 9. So at Watford, you got platforms 1 to 4 on the London Overground, platforms 6 to 9 on the main line, and platform 10 is a bay platform, and then platform 11 is on the St Albans branch. So Watford Junction is less than a mile away, so I'll start braking for that. There's a 350 to Milton Keynes on a stopping train. I think the London to Milton Keynes trains run every hour. So Watford Junction is just up in the distance. So we're approaching in gently, not too fast. So we're aiming to stop at the 8 car stop sign. Speed limit is now 70. So there's the 4 car stop sign, and 8 should be on the left, coming up now. So platform 9, where is it? There's a VT stop. There's 12. Where's 8? So I've got into Watford. Next stop is London Euston, arriving at 10:23. There's a train from Birmingham I mentioned that would overtake us. So next is London Euston. We are due into platform 11 at 10:23. So we'll pass through Bushy, Harrow and Willstone, Wembley Central, and London Euston. So next station is Bushy. Yeah, I wrote down all the stations between Watford and London. Just need to find them. So after Bushy will be Carpenter's Park. So 80 going up to 90. So from here we should see some London Overground trains between Watford and London, stopping at literally every single station. It takes ages. So this is Bushy Station. With another lag spike. I hate those. Speed limit down 90, so accelerate towards that. So I have Bushy, Carpenter's Park, Hatch End, Headstone Lane, Harrow Willstone, Kenton, South Kenton, North Wembley, Wembley Central, Wolverton Junction, Kensal Green, Queen's Park, and London Euston. Actually, Queen's Park, Kilburn High Road, South Hampstead, and then London Euston. So we're straight into London Euston, platform 11. There's a 378 from Watford to London. We're train to Charlie 19. With more lag. Speed limit is now going up to 100. I think this is Hatch End. Next one is Headstone Lane. This is Headstone Lane. Next is Harrow and Willstone. So the only stations that have platforms on all 6 lines are Watford Junction, Bushy, Harrow and Willstone, and Wembley Central. And you could also call it London Euston mainly because that's the terminus. So in the distance is Harrow and Willstone station. There's a 350, no 377 from Clapham to Watford. He went through the West London line through and up to Preston. Yeah, he went through the West London line through Shepherd's Bush. Why have we already caught up to the Birmingham train? Is he really gone that slowly? And the speed limit went down to 90 for some reason. To Delta Air 3 to Watford. What speed is it on the fast line? Is it 100? Or is it like 110? Looks like we'll be racing this train into London. I think the station we pass through is Kenton. Next is South Kenton. Yeah, it's a race into London between a pair of 350s. Between a what do you call it? What's that? A trio? I don't know. A race between 4 350s. This is South Kenton. I think we're winning. We're going to overtake it. Oh yeah, the frame rate will just go to crap as we go through Wolverton. This is so cool, seeing trains overtake each other. Or undertake. Running for 75. Next is Wembley Central, I think. I don't know where we are anymore. I've been distracted. So this is Wembley Central. So it's all down to 75. 79. Come on, stop lagging. 77, 76, 75. Why is he travelling so slowly? Speed limit now at 75. On the left is Wembley Yard. So a few containers, a few 66s, a few hoppers. The speed limit now going back up to 90. Also, the Watford DC line goes under the West Coast Main Line towards Tonbridge Park and Harlesden. So we're sorry, back up to 90 so we can race this again. So far, I am really enjoying the scenario made. It's really good. Oh god, the frame rate is dead. So next is Wolverton, where we go under the North London line from Clapham and Richmond towards Stratford. So I accelerate the train back up to 90 miles an hour. Come on, don't crash. Please. It's been a good run so far. I think on the right is a McVitie's factory or something. Out of the way. Yeah, the McVitie's with the wrong time on it. Go to the other view. Which I can't. So slow down to 75. Come on, frame rate. This is Wolverton Junction. Over the top is the North London line from Clapham and Stratford. On the left is Willesden Depot, which London Overground use. There's a Pendo going out to Liverpool with 1 Sierra 52. On the left is Kensal Green. Next is Queen's Park, where the London Underground comes off towards central London. So try and accelerate the train back up to 75. This is Queen's Park. Oh god, the lag is too much. This is Queen's Park. Next is Kilburn High Road. If 350 time to slow down. This is Kilburn High Road. Warning for 40, then 50 as we approach London Euston. Next is South Hampstead, and then London Euston. .350 going out to Birmingham, 1 Yankee 11. This is South Hampstead station. Speed limit now 40 miles an hour. Yeah, in real life the actual train got into London Euston at 10:28 and we are doing at 10:29. There's a 350, probably going to Northampton or something like that. We'll also join up with the Watford DC line. I have a single yellow. So on the left is Camden carriage sidings, which LNWR used to stable some of their 350s. Maybe their 319s as well. I don't know why they put in its camera angle. So the danger aspect is just up ahead. There's a Pendo doing something. F6 isn't working. I can't see what it is. I think that's the Pendolino that overtook us a while ago. There's a Pendle going out to Manchester with train 1 Hotel 18. 1 Line Bravo. The thing about London Euston is that it's full of overpasses and underpasses, so you just end up going everywhere. So I think London Euston has like 18 platforms, and I think the Caledonian Sleeper can only use platforms. I think it's 15 and 1. I think, because they're the only platforms that are long enough to fit 16 coaches in it. So we're just pulling up to this danger aspect. Okay, now it's changed to 10:33. I hope this isn't bugged. Double yellow with a 378 going out to Watford. So DRA off, reverse it to forward, and power to notch 2. So London Euston and platform 11. So we are a little later than the actual train, but I think that was because of pathing issues with the AI. So speed limit is 40, going down to 25 as we enter London Euston. Just let the train coast down the hill towards 25. So in London Euston, I think we should see the 350s from Birmingham that overtook us twice, and some Pendolinos from Liverpool, Manchester and Manchester. So I've really enjoyed this run. So after this I will package it up into a zip file, put it on Google Drive and then put it on Thomson and see what people think of it. I think people will really enjoy this scenario, because this has been really fun to do. So this is London Euston. Why is the logo up there so blurry? So this is London Euston. So aiming to stop at the buffer stops. So this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed me taking this pair of 350s from Northampton to London. So subscribe for more trains and content, like the video if you're so inclined. Follow me at Twitch for live streams, and follow me on Twitter for future video updates. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. I don't know what I'll be doing. I haven't planned that far yet. So arrival into London Euston.